Welcome back again to another episode of Utility Room Legends, the podcast where we shed light on the people who move and control water and the legends behind those systems. If this is your first time listening, you can check out past episodes and subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We also invite you to visit our website at utilityroomlegends.com for all the latest updates, links, and guest submissions. Today's guest is someone who truly understands what it means to cover ground, both literally and figuratively, in this industry. Traver Hunter is a territory manager for Rep Masters covering Montana and northern Wyoming, and he's spent more than 20 years working across nearly every side of the business, from manufacturer to wholesale, a rep agency to the job site. Traver has seen this industry from the inside and out, and he's done it across some of the most challenging wide-open territory in the country. Before pipe, valves, and fittings, Traver's path included competitive golf, professional baseball, coaching, construction, and concrete work. Experience that shaped his perspective, work ethic, and approach to relationships. Today, he's known for his persistence, his deep respect for the people he works with, and his ability to solve problems in places where distance, weather, logistics, and infrastructure all collide. In this episode, we talk about Traver's unconventional journey into the waterworks industry and the lessons learned along the way. What it really takes to support infrastructure in Montana and Wyoming, from shipping challenges to long miles and limited resources. We also talk about why relationships, trust, and follow-through still matter in an industry that's consistently changing, and how being a true resource, not just a salesperson, is what creates long-term value for customers, distributors, and communities. You'll hear great stories from the road, thoughtful insight into realities of rural infrastructure, and the perspective of someone who has built his reputation by showing up, staying persistent, and doing the work, even when it's not easy. Traver's experience, grit, and commitment to the industry are exactly the kind of story we aim to tell here on Utility Room Legends. Let's get into it. Mr. Hunter.
Mr. Davis.
You're here.
I'm here.
Yep, glad to have you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, sir.
So, glad you could be here. Wanted to take the opportunity since you're in town, chat a little bit.
Yeah.
Why don't you introduce yourself, where you live at, the most beautiful state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God's country.
Yeah.
Territory manager for Montana. Live in Lewistown, Montana, town of about 5,000 people. The natives call it a snow hole, so we get a lot of snow, a lot of precipitation up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cover Montana and northern Wyoming, and like Trump said, everything's 2.5 hours away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a big gap between a lot of those places when we're driving up there. It's like it's windshield time, man. You may go, you may have like 4 or 5 customers in a row that you visit, and then you may wait 3 or 4 hours. So
it's a lot of the manufacturers that drive in that haven't never been.
Yeah.
A lot of dead cell phone areas and 4 people, and then are we done? Like, yeah, we got 2.5 hours, and we're on to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have an interesting journey from to getting most people. I always love hearing how people get into this industry: pipe, valves, fittings, irrigation, plumbing, anything that moves water, water nerds.
Sure.
You actually pretty much a scratch pro golfer, and then professional baseball player. Why don't you kind of give us a background on how you got in? How did you find your way into this industry?
Found my way into the industry. So in like 2003, 2004, came back from California from doing the golf thing, and realized there's a lot of hours and not a lot of money. And
You were doing
I was a golf pro down at Tustin Ranch Golf Course.
okay, so at the pro shop,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
were you trying to get into the pro? Were you trying to get into
Doing small events.
amateur, small
Yeah.
tournaments? Yeah.
Prior to that, I'd worked at a public golf course in Billings,
Okay.
giving lessons. Was never Class A, but yeah, you find out in a quick hurry when you go down to places like California how good you are and how good you are not.
Yeah. Well, there's so many players, man.
Yeah, and I didn't really do anything like any big events or any like, mini tour events or Pepsi events or anything like that. I just played in some local stuff around there and found out that, this is probably not the road I need to go down. I'm great at giving lessons. I love coaching and teaching people, but the playing part of it was. So I came back and I got back into baseball, started coaching our local Billings Royals baseball team. And again, it's a lot of hours. It's a lot of time. You pretty much have to be a teacher to have the summers off because there's not a lot of jobs you can just take 4 months off. So I got into that for a little while, and then I decided I was going to work a little concrete, a little construction.
Now your baseball,
work.
so your baseball days were before golf, right?
Yes, yeah.
So that was out of high school?
Yeah, out of high school, and then I went to JUCO, and I got drafted both years out of JUCO. Went to Oklahoma State on a baseball scholarship, and then hurt myself and tore the rotator cuff, and ended up at the University of Wyoming, kind of rehabbing and drinking beer.
No.
Yeah,
Laramie.
Yeah. And so that was about the end of the baseball career.
Although Laramie's changed quite a bit. Last time you've been there.
It's a lot bigger than when I was there.
They put a lot of money in that university too.
Yeah,
that Legacy Hall.
I don't even think
awesome.
Wyoming has baseball anymore. Honestly.
Oh, really?
No,
Yeah.
I think it was like a couple of years after I left that they canceled the program.
Well, the rodeo team's like national championship, right?
Football team's always good.
Yeah, Casey. Yeah, Casey Anderson.
Yeah.
So his son is on that rodeo team.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he got hurt. I believe that. I'm not sure if he's. Last time I talked to him, I asked him how his son was doing. I think he's. I mean, he's still there. So, but yeah, he got a scholarship. He's on scholarship there. So
yeah. See, and like Hawaii would come in and it'd be 6-7 inches of snow, and we'd brush off the field. Yeah. I think at one point they were going to try and make a dome for baseball, athletics, everything, but it went through. It didn't. It never happened.
Yeah. He's thinking with a home field advantage there, man.
Yeah, of course. Snow in Hawaii, they didn't want to play us too much. But no, after that, I just I came back to Billings, got a job working at a bar, and the local golf course had lights.
Okay.
At night, you could hit at the driving range, so I had to go over there at night, and I'd hit golf balls. And the head pro walked out and said, got a pretty good swing, do you want to maybe look at playing some golf around here and do something? And I was like, I don't know. He goes, you should take a job here doing something. So I started mowing and doing stuff during the days and bartending at night. And then since I worked there, I could play in the club championship. So I entered the club championship and won it. So he said, maybe you should move into the pro shop. So I took I think it's Class B at that time. You just had to do a player's ability test and shoot 75 twice, and then you could start teaching. So I did all of my stuff was all lessons, teaching young kids.
I'm waiting for that guy to say you could shoot 95 twice.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'd be a pro.
105 and 95. No, I don't want to be a pro. No, my uncle did it.
It's tough business.
And my uncle was at Monarch. He was a pro at Monarch in Laguna Niguel.
Okay.
In between, it's like in between Laguna Niguel and San Clemente.
Yep.
Beautiful course, but yeah, and then he was on the, I believe it was at the time it was called the Buy.com tour.
Sure.
And then it became the Nike tour.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of, I mean, he does much better in sales than he ever did. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of hours, and you figure in the golf business, when everybody else is on vacation, you're working.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, something to me about, I don't know. I know you always say you do what you love, and I love football, man. But when you hear about like the hours, Peyton Manning, I don't know though. I think I could put, like I was doing coaching with my son's team. I did it with my oldest, and then I got into it again. My second one, he's into music and stuff, which he's an amazing musician. Plays guitar, like the stuff he does is insane. And then so the third one wanted to do football, and so I got involved in that one, and I could see dedicating the time and like the passion like that, but But I don't know, as a player, though.
And like in golf, too, it's like the last thing you want to do after you work 6 days in a row is go play golf.
Yeah.
Just want to get away.
I can't, about a round is good for me. Like, my father-in-law would do trips where he does, I think he'll do 36 in a day. I'm like, that does not sound fun.
No, 3 days in a row. Yeah, my buddies would always go to Ireland and do that 36 a day for like 4 courses. And I'm like, whew.
I could do 27.
Yeah, I don't mind the 18-hole scramble where you hit a bunch of drives for people and drink some beer and have a good time.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Well, that's the rep side of it.
Yes, exactly.
Format scramble. That's what I like playing.
Yep.
Yeah. So you're golf. So now you're working at the golf course in Billings. You're golf pro.
Yep. I was there for a while.
And you were like, screw this, man. I love pipe.
Yeah. Exactly. Everybody says that at once in their life. No,
not everyone.
Not everybody. No, it was a transition into making a little bit more money, starting over again.
Okay.
And I got a job at Billings Construction Supply.
Okay. Is it still in business?
Yeah, it's still in business. They most of their business is done on porta potties, rentals. It kind of is like the lifeblood. Back then it was. I think they've grown since then. But I was working, like I said, a concrete crew.
Okay.
And like they said, for every 4 guys that pour concrete, there's always a 5th, right? It's a rough business. And this guy came out in a little red truck selling concrete tools. And I was like, how much do you make? And he told me his salary, and I'm like, I think I need to get in sales rather than I need to be doing this stuff.
Pouring concrete.
Yeah. So I got a job at Billings Construction Supply. There was a thing called truncated domes. It was for the blind before they transitioned out into the roadway. They could feel the bumps.
Okay.
So they didn't just walk down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ours was a concrete cast in place, so I ran with it. And the guy that was a manufacturer came in, did a little presentation like we do now, and said, "Can you sell this?" And I'm like, "I'll try." So I went all over Montana, did pours up in Great Falls, Fort Benton, hit all the DOTs, hit the cities, and a company, Advanced Drainage Systems at that time, was looking for a Montana rep, Montana, Wyoming rep. And they had a headhunter call out and say, who's been bugging you the most and annoying you the most and who's been in your face the most? And this guy's like, Traver Hunter.
That does not make sense to me. That does not jive to me.
So, not annoying, but I was persistent.
Yeah. Persistence wears down resistance.
Yep. And so, so I got in with ADS in 2005.
Okay.
And just took it from there and grew it. I grew it because I realized that the distributors weren't really the ones making the call. So I went to all the engineers and I went to the cities and I did a lot of presentations and I tried. It was against the concrete mafia. You know, the stormwater at that time was all concrete or maybe corrugated metal on a few things. But so I got a lot of specs done in Montana and Wyoming, and then got DOT approval, which was huge. And so
it was all RCP, right? It was pretty much everything they did.
All of it, yeah. So I got that and did really, really well, and then decided my ex-wife and I were having babies, and I was going to get off the road to spend some more time at home, and so I took a job at Northwest Pipe Fittings in Billings.
Yeah.
Working for Randy Bentley and that crew over there for a while, doing takeoffs, sitting there. So, so I've been on the manufacturer side, I've been on the wholesale side, I've been on the rep side. That's 20 years of this.
Did some pump stuff.
Went to California for about a year and a half and did wastewater treatment plants up and down the 99 in the Central Valley. Yeah,
wastewater. I mean, wastewater. That's funny. Those wastewater guys, though, they like that smell still, man.
Oh, yeah. It was during COVID, so I still had COVID face.
Oh, dude, that smell. But you always tell a wastewater guy because I'm like, oh, it smells like money. They love that.
It's like the cattle business. Every time somebody drives by a feedlot, they're like, oh my God, it smells like shit. And they're like, it smells like money.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Central Valley and the California working the wastewater treatment plants. I worked for a buddy of mine, Rockwell Solutions.
Okay.
Great company, great man. Taught me a lot about the industry and persistence. Again, I mean, California is a different beast than Montana and Wyoming.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to stay in their face and be relevant because there's 20 other people right behind you.
Well, and there's also a lot. One thing to be said with California, we don't. Every market's so different, but usually what I see is, in places like Montana and Wyoming, there's not too many other people making the decision. When you get into California, you hear in Colorado. I mean, it's like what I used to tell Ron. It'd blow my mind. I go over there to visit him, and we could just walk into a water plant.
Sure.
We'll walk into a water or into in the office of Salt Lake City Water or whatever municipality is. You just go walk in the office.
Right.
Here it's like, no man, you got a gate.
Oh, it's like California. It was like, they would send you to some guy that was fifth in line, and you'd never talk to that guy.
Yeah. And you're not getting in. You gotta push the button at the gate and have an appointment. Yeah, it's
especially during COVID. Different. It was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was one thing that I liked during COVID was Nick and I would just, I'd be like, screw it, man, we're going out to Wyoming.
Yeah,
and we go up there and
open gates.
Yeah, just go talk to people. We want to know your problems. What's going on?
My kids never wore a mask.
Still had some masks in Cheyenne.
No, my kids never.
Once you pass Cheyenne, there were no more masks.
Yeah, no, I was like I tell everybody that my kids never wore a mask one day in school or did anything, and then my fiance is down in California, and everybody's full face mask with like guard shields. Yeah, welding shields.
Like those pictures that you see those pictures of the kids that had the masks on the band that have put holes in in the mask so they could play the. It's like sometimes when you look back, you're like, what the hell were we thinking?
How did we
it's so
get
friggin' crazy, man.
How did they do that to us? Yeah. They can.
Anyhow.
Well, that's why, like I called you the other day when the helicopters flew over my house.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, it's alien stuff, man. Nukes and aliens.
I was sitting there doing computer work and sitting in my house, and all of a sudden helicopters flew over, and they were moving some nukes, and next thing you know, we don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have Verizon, we don't have AT&T, we don't have nothing. I called JD and I was like, how's that happening? He was like, because they wanted it to.
You guys in Montana, you should be used to that stuff, man.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
I was like, going to put my tinfoil hat on and sit in my basement.
Yeah. So you worked for Northwest Pipe.
Yep.
And then
learned a lot from that wholesale side of things.
Yeah, some great guys over there.
Oh yeah, Randy Bentley, Brent McNeil. That was a definite learning curve. Paul McCatherine, Tate, all those guys were really good to me because I came from the stormwater side of things. I didn't really know about the corp stops and the curb stops and even with the EBA and restraints and stuff. I didn't know.
There's so much, dude. Whether that's that.
You do a takeoff.
That's what I love about it.
You do a takeoff for a city project. You learn a lot quick.
Where do I start?
Yeah. Steve Wempheimer was phenomenal too. He was one of the legends of the business, 40 years, and one of my favorites.
Got to get him on, man. He's a legend.
He is a legend. One of my 40 years. He's 40 years in the business, or even maybe longer. But one of my first calls, some guy out of Coal Strip, Montana, or someplace, wanted me to do a takeoff for him, and Steve was listening, and he goes. I said, yeah, what kind of, are you PVC, are you ductile, or whatever? And all of a sudden I hear, it's clay. I look over, and I was like, what? He goes, I sold him clay pipe. And I'm like, holy crap. He goes, that was before PVC. And I was like, Jesus, how old are you? You were before PVC? So, you've been there a long time.
Yeah. Well, and there's so many, even nationally, right? Our water distribution system is 2.2 million miles of pipe. That doesn't count stormwater and wastewater.
No.
There's stuff. And when you get in Montana, it's like, you're talking about long distances. Right?
Talk about like some of the native jobs. 72 miles of pipe to connect.
It's insane.
It's unreal. And look at the poly pipe. Mm-hmm. Poly pipe. The ranch that I worked at. Our wells were 3 miles away to feed to water cattle. Mm-hmm.
16,000 feet.
Yeah, it was like these guys, the reels of polypipe going into that place in eastern Montana is unreal.
Yeah. Yeah. And you've been, so let's see, now you're how many years in the business now?
20.
20.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just hitting 13. It's like there's so much still to learn.
Oh, 20 years in the business in Montana and Wyoming, and it's like I could go, listening to Braylon's, you can do 1,000 things a day. And that's the thing about being a rep is getting up and just saying, I have to do this today, or I could go down 1,000 rabbit holes with 10 people.
Well, and that is the challenge. That's been the challenge on as we expand and looking at like other avenues and markets has been, and I can, some of the stuff we're doing with the UGO, we'll get. Everyone just throws me the stuff that it's like,
I know.
What is this?
What is this,
and then
John?
I'll go down a rabbit hole over something. I'm like, wait a minute, this is like a
minute.
$5 part.
Yeah, exactly.
but you're also learning.
Yeah.
And then you start to get into new applications. There's just so much, man.
Well, and that's the hard part of that. I can talk freely about my Montana mind, right? About how I don't get things sometimes because of my relationships. And I give my word. There's still handshakes out there, the George Whitakers of the world, the Corin Mains. I sat down with George Whitaker when I first started with ADS, and he looked at me, and we had a good relationship right away.
George's a great guy.
Oh, unreal. And he's just like, I'll tell you one thing that I know about the industry. Don't ever piss anybody off because you'll be sitting across from them at some point, maybe needing a job.
Yep. I was on with Ron Hatton. That's the one thing I told him. I said, one thing I learned is you never burn bridges in this industry.
No,
because you can't. I mean, everyone's
even with a manufacturer. I mean, it's like
a manufacturer,
anything like that. And it's frustrating to me sometimes is you put in the miles and you put in the window time and you open up all these doors with people you've had relationships for 15 years.
We talked about this too.
And then the manufacturer decides to pull
business,
the plug.
man.
I know.
That's what it is.
That's
man.
why I call
nothing
you.
Personal.
And I'm like, I'm need to vent right now, JD.
Yeah, nothing personal, man. It's just business.
But back to the persistency. Remember when you were hiring me? I called you 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I was like, just still sitting here in Montana, big guy.
I remember.
Yeah.
No, and I appreciate. No, and I respect that. I mean, that's one of the things. Is if you're persistent and you're going to provide value, that's what. At the end of the day, I appreciate when I have certain guys that I work with, whether it's at a distributor or even in a city that they're calling me to help solve a problem.
Yeah.
I know they're calling me because there's a reason, right? Like
right.
they're not calling me to just.
Chat.
Sometimes they want to because that's the great part of the industry is that like some of my best friends or people I work with. But if they're calling me, I can always tell by their tone like they need to solve a problem, right? And they're just looking for a solution.
It's like Brent McNeil, president of Northwest Pipe now. Yeah. A great friend of mine. I mean, I have to know the line to walk when he's the president of Northwest Pipe or he's my buddy, right? Yeah. And sometimes I cross it just to, maybe get in front of him or get something that I need to talk to him about. But he's always got an open door for me. I mean, we got a great relationship.
Tell me about how that dynamic. So, it's interesting because Ron and I were talking about how the industry's changed since when he started, and how it, went from like, a lot of the, I guess, good old boys type, all relationship, where he talked about how sometimes other people will, there's some, might be some backdoor in type stuff, right?
Sure. And I saw a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, Montana, I mean, I feel like that's probably still
a little
the last frontier.
Yeah. It's the last stop before Canada.
The last frontier of
but you look back
because everyone. I mean, pretty much everyone's worked with. I mean, I can tell when I talk to guys up there, it's like. Like, oh yeah, man, I worked with him, or he worked with me.
I worked at Ferguson. I worked at DSG. Now I work at Pipe.
I mean, how's that dynamic? How do you navigate that dynamic? Because, you have people that you worked with at multiple distributors, and then even like the current ADS rep, right? Zane, right? There's
He's like my second cousin or something like that. Yeah,
I love Zane. He's funny.
He's awesome. Yeah, I know. I give him some grief on the road. Every time I see him, I'm like, yeah,
let's get him on here.
I did all the spec work. And
come on, Zane. Let's get on here.
I did all the spec work, and now you're getting that low.
We'll have to have him on here to challenge that one.
Yeah. Well, you get like a shorter seat.
Man.
I tell you.
Shot fired. Mm-hmm. Shots fired, Zane. Fired. Shots fired.
It's all beautiful.
No, but talk about that dynamic and how you navigate that in Montana.
Watching guys go from Ferguson to Core and Main to DSG, or
just
whatever.
How you have somebody that maybe you guys are working together in the past at one distributor, or then they leave and like everyone knows everyone up there, and you just manage it as, is it just like this is a community of people that are in the industry, or?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, to me, I look at the relationships that we had during the time that I worked with them.
Sure.
And if they call me and they're like, hey, Traver, I know, things have changed over, but it's also, they're selling a different product. If Northwest Pipe is selling Mueller and Ferguson's not, I mean, it's like you have to like
or Dakota,
DSG's going, I'm going Zern Wilkins, they're going Watts. Yeah. I mean, it's like they want to compete. They don't all want to carry the same thing. They want that.
I mean, I would just think that, and that's the weird thing there is you have. I wouldn't want to. I just kind of like think everyone kind of fall in their niche of like, this is our avenue. These are who we're going to align with. It gets convoluted though when you start getting to corporate buyouts, which you guys have started getting into now.
Well, that's the thing is like if you think about like DSG or Northwest Pipe. I mean, DSG is corporate, but it's still northern, right? It's Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, and they're expanding. Northwest Pipe's all Montana. They got Rapid City and got them and stuff like that. But then like a Core and Main comes in, right? That's corporate. They have a different thing. They have a different.
But most of the guys that recruit up there came from
the
smaller,
the mom and pop stuff.
Yeah. I mean, great guy like Matt Kallstrom, freaking awesome.
I love him. I just sat down with
Ben
him 2 weeks
ago.
ago. Ben Tully, Chris Anderson.
Freaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, get Chris on here. We just crack jokes all day.
Yeah, talk about his new passion of trap shooting.
Oh, really? Yeah?
And he's good now.
Yeah, is he good?
Yeah.
But what with Ron?
Ron, he actually called Ron when he was down in Salt Lake.
Yeah,
Come
on, Chris. Let's get Ron and Chris on.
Yeah, did I tell you how I met Ron? You know the story about how I met Hat. First time I met Ron?
You have to remind me.
Montana
had to be
Rural
something
Water?
shooting.
No, Montana Rural Water. I'd just gotten hired.
Okay.
It was in March. I was hired in February. So it was my first event for Montana Rural Water, and I'd never met Ron. Mm-hmm. And so he said he was on his way up from Utah, and he got there. I was asleep. We shared a hotel room, which we never did again.
Yeah, he snores.
Oh, but anyways,
I thought it was bad. I heard it was bad. I found out it was bad.
It's bad.
I'm bad too, but man, that was.
I think I'm bad too, but still.
Another level.
Yeah. So 2:00 in the morning, I'm sound asleep, and all of a sudden I just wake up to a shadow standing in front of my bed with a rifle.
What?
I mean, he carries his gun with him all the time when he goes on the road because he has to shoot a coyote off the
interstate. In a hotel room.
But it's standing in a hotel room with a rifle and a shadow, and you're waking up. And I was like, Ron? He's like, I'd better be. That's how I met Ron Hatt.
Wow. He was much more tame on here. I knew he had those stories.
Yeah, he did like 5 pipe quotes on his laptop.
Yeah.
And then went to bed and was asleep in 30 seconds.
Yep.
And I didn't sleep the rest of the night.
I think you did tell me that story before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Hatt.
Yeah. That brings back some memories.
That was a long time ago. 2016.
Yeah. That was 3 years after I started.
Yep.
So it was a different, and it was, before we had anyone up in Montana, it was, I went up there a few times, and it was a whole nother animal, man.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, I remember going up there, and I remember, can't remember if it was Matt or who had told me. I went up there in jeans, but someone went up there and was telling me, dude, go up there and You go up there in khakis or dress
and
pants, and
dress
you're
pants.
yeah.
I remember I was delivering for Northwest Pipe up in the Glendive area at a treatment plant, unloading fittings, pipe, ductile, whatever, right? And the guy came out of the shop, and it was a national company, and they were doing the treatment plant up there. And I'm still selling stuff. I mean, even though I'm delivering, I'm still selling stuff because I want his business. And so, anyways, this guy pulls up in a rental and gets out with khakis on and some dress shoes, and then he's like, "The fuck's he selling?" He goes, "I'm not talking to that guy." And he walked right straight back into his office, and I was like, that guy drove all the way up here, Glendive, Montana.
Yeah.
Probably flew into Bozeman, and
There's always those guys, man. Yeah, I remember the first time that I started. I remember the first time that when I started, there was you always get these customers that are they're just curmudgeons, right? And they're like grouchy people that they just, especially when you have a new salesperson or a rep, they got to throw their weight around. And
you got to break them down.
I had this guy that he would call our manufacturers all the time and ask them who their rep was, as if he didn't know. And so I was young, only been a couple months, and so I found out this guy called in, and the manufacturer had emailed and said, "Hey, so and so doesn't know who the rep is." And so I reached out and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to come down and bring you breakfast."
Yeah.
And they were down in Coral Springs, and so I remember I talked to Brent and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go down here," and he was like, "Oh, why are you going down there?" I was like, "I'm going to see so and so," and he was like, "That's gonna be tough, man," and he was like, "He's kind of an asshole."
Yeah.
And then Diamond had kind of confirmed that, so the same thing. So, and I noticed we hadn't sold anything or not much with that particular distributor. So I drove down and I walked in there, and the guy was definitely freaking. He was like,
he was ready,
guard up, ready
loaded
to go.
for bear.
So go in there, bringing donuts and everything. I had line cards and, "Hey, I'm John. I'm new here, and I'm, I was kind of filling in, like,
Sure.
Want to come out and meet all the accounts." And he's like, "Well, I don't know if anyone's told you, but I'm a bit of an asshole."
Oh, so he said it?
Yeah. And I was like, "Well, you do come with references."
Love it. But
And he just sat there and he looked and just maybe he started laughing, and that kind of broke the ice. And we actually, we did a lot of work together. So,
well, I mean,
it's just the way it is.
I grew up in the industry of the Ron Metcalfs. It was, how many years did he have the same lines, right? It was a different industry back then. But like the Rex Michlers of the world, these guys were legends in the rep business, but they had kick-in solid lines that they and back then it was like, take some guys out to dinner and maybe take them golfing or whatever. And now the lines seem like they can come and go in a month, and it's a little nerve-wracking sometimes. But, being taught by
business.
I know. By the George Whitakers of the world, the Randy Bentleys, Brandon Bentley. Brandon's taken over and business development manager for Northwest Pipe. I mean, these guys, they know Justin Nelson for DSGs, the regional. These guys, all I know that I can make a phone call and I can be in front of them, and they will tell me literally to my face, "This is a shit line. We're never going to buy it." Or, "Hey, there's some interest here."
So there's some truth to a lot of, like, I think a lot of times distributors will get told, or the manufacturer might think there's no loyalty there. You think that, well, the street goes both ways. Like what you're talking about, how nowadays, and what's interesting is Ron had expressed the same feelings, and I've had these conversations. I've seen over the years where things change, and it is just business, but the way you conduct business determines how a market goes. And the one thing I will say to Cora Main and Ferguson and the distributors out there making acquisitions, and there's a lot, is you can't blame them, because in a way similar to a rep, when they're dealing with that, it's like, fine, we'll just buy it. We'll just buy this line.
Right.
You look at Core & Main's acquired Trumbull.
Yeah. Ferguson's buying rep agencies.
They bought rep agencies. There's been a lot of acquisitions.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because, the same thing we've talked about. It's just business, but hey, they're trying to control their own destiny.
Yep.
And the bottom line in this industry, and it's the same thing. I talked with John Roberts at Core & Main years ago, who was worried about, he wasn't worried about, but he was talking about how Core & Main in general is worried about, the Amazon type model.
Yeah.
Online sales for wholesale.
Right.
And it was interesting listening to him. I love just talking to people who've been in the industry for that long.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy, and John Roberts is somebody who people will go to, ask his opinion on what he thinks of a new product.
Yeah.
And it's valid, and they'll take it to heart.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that unless you provide value to somebody.
Right.
And so, I remember him telling me, he's like, look, if it happens, he was saying, if it happens, it's our own fault.
Right.
Go call Amazon. Like, if you got an issue, a problem with a product,
Call
Amazon. Be like, hey, can you get someone out here to come look at it? Like, if they don't see the value in that, then we're not doing our job.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same token, as a manufacturer, if you're out there and you're not, you're hiring reps, you have a relationship, everything's going smooth, and you terminate a rep, go direct, and then you hire, you decide you're going to take it from a regional standpoint, and one guy comes out once every 6 months or once a year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no stability there. There's no value for the distributor to buy from you as a manufacturer.
Right.
So you can't fault someone for being like, we're just going to buy you, and we'll just take it. I'm not saying from a large manufacturer, but that's what you're seeing, I think, with some of those acquisitions is we're going to control our own destiny, right? Like, we don't rely on you whether or not we get a program or a rebate or who the rep is.
Right.
I think that transition is going to move. I think that because you're only seeing more acquisitions.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but you know me, letting things slide when I've done the dirty work, it feels like, and it's just business. It's like, doesn't.
You have to.
I know.
You have to, man.
I'm still learning. I'm 55 years old. I'm learning.
Remember, you don't burn any bridges. You have to.
I don't
Just
burn
let it go.
bridges. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I used to say is, you don't bash a product
Because you might be selling it next
because you
week.
never know when you might be repping it.
I know. Yeah, I hear you.
So, I mean, look, that is the nature of the business.
Yeah.
But the one thing that never changes is you have a problem, finding a solution, sourcing the solution, and being of value to the customer, provide that solution.
Yeah.
That will never change.
No.
Period. Doesn't matter if it's online. Doesn't matter if you're dealing with a wholesaler, with a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
The guys I like working with are the ones that are really out trying to help
Yep.
solve those problems.
Yep.
That's what I kind of think.
There's a lot of situations where I've been in where the city engineer looks at me and said, "Hey, if you can help me with this, I'd really appreciate it, and we'll put it in the specifications to make it a thing." I'm like, yeah, I'll do all the work for you. I mean, I don't care about that. I mean, I would actually like to do that. I'd like to focus on something, jump in a ditch, or, you know what I'm saying, and make this work for you and show you that it works. And that's the thing is also, like I always go back to, like I said, my Montana brain. It's like, selling something that doesn't feel like it's going to work or is not right for the territory or whatever. It's like, all right, I want to see this stuff work. I want to see it. I want to see it either be the most magical thing that they've ever seen, or if it fails miserably, go, we gave it a shot.
Well,
but that's the thing. Is
the dynamics are so different there.
Oh my God! It's
like people think, when you have Montana's interesting because you have manufacturers that kind of act like they don't care, but I mean, there's a lot of infrastructure and it's wide open space, right?
Wide open space, and it's a last stop for shipping.
Yeah.
Not a lot
And
of trucks coming back from Montana.
I mean, what I guess my question to you would be if you were, because you have, everyone in Montana, like the distributors, whether it's George Whitaker, Brandon Bentley, or Brett McNeil, or
Justin Nelson, those guys.
Justin Nelson, Chris Anderson, if you were to, Matt Kallstrom, if you were to speak out and say to a manufacturer of like what is important in like if you were to say, hey, if you're going to do business with Montana in the future, what would you say they should or is important or is like the biggest thing they should consider?
And I always thought it was relationships. I mean, that's what I based a lot of my stuff on was relationships because I'm never screwing anybody over. I would never go, back door or behind anything. I always told people up front. And they respected that in the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then the dynamics changed.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, the relationships are still there. The manufacturers may come and go. But I got to find something to be viable, right? UGO is a viable situation. It's an opportunity for us to be all-encompassing, an umbrella to help the waterworks industry, even waterworks, irrigation. I mean,
We haven't talked much about UGO on here, but yeah, we really haven't.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
It's just, it's
your baby.
No, we just haven't. But
Are we not supposed to?
No, we can talk about whatever, dude. Hey, talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
All right. Well,
and that's and one of the reasons I have it because I haven't. The podcast to me is the same reason that I do. That I wanted to do what I've done. That Brent's blessed me with the opportunity to come in and to help. And Brent under his direction, UGO is what I think is everything that I wanted a sales model to be, which is.
Well, I've watched it. I've watched you, and I've watched
which is
it.
to drive. I really the only thing that drives me, and I've said this before in the podcast, is what I look at. Oh my gosh, Pat Bowlen, one of the Broncos. When you look at franchises in the NFL, you think of Al Davis, Raiders, right? You think of the Cowboys, right? Jerry Jones. You think of Hank Stram. You think of the Chiefs. You think of Pat Bowlen, George Halas. All these legendary guys that built these franchises that are. These are the mega franchises, right? I would talk about the Patriots, but I hate them. Yeah. So,
sure.
But when you talk about these franchises, and there's a common ground there, and for Pat Bowlen, from the 1975 to 2000, they were the most winning franchise in the NFL at that time, or whatever that period was. And they were interviewing Pat Bowlen. And they said, "What do you attribute the success to?"
Right.
And he said that he wasn't concerned about money. He just wanted to win.
Right.
He thought if we put the best product out and we won, everything else would take care of itself. And that's how I look at what we do. With UGO is we really want to solve the problems because they're real problems. If we don't solve them, it's going to affect our children. It's going to affect my grandchildren for sure. And so I figure if we're the best at doing that, everything else take care of itself.
Yep.
So you're right, and that is that it's a similar type of change in model.
Right.
And what's funny is to us, it doesn't. We'll work with any model. Through distribution, we just want to provide solutions to people that want to help out.
The ultimate goal is to make an infrastructure that works for our children. Yeah,
and that should be the goal.
It should be the goal. And there's a lot of places that are expanding. Bozeman, Montana is growing more than
Bozeman,
yeah, and California spell. But
Dream of California spit. That one?
But yeah. expansion, and the infrastructure is not there, and they've got. I mean, it's a huge growth, and it's a huge the city engineers. There's a lot of city engineers in Montana that were there for a limited time because of the pressure and the growth, and trying to design something that is going to be almost impossible for the future unless you start over.
Well, my understanding, even in Bozeman, is they basically said no more growth. Like they blocked it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Belgrade. That's like, I don't know it was last time I was up there was talking.
You can go west.
Yeah,
you can go west, but you're not going east.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah, which, I mean,
Belgrade and Bozeman are pretty much.
To me, Montana is like the ultimate last of we're not going to let it get big, and you have these, like get off my lawns fighting over. But
Yeah.
look, I mean, here's the bottom line: is no matter what, demand's growing.
Yeah.
So when you have demand that's growing, when you have population growth, you have demand. So you need to provide the infrastructure. That's the bottom line.
Right.
And ultimately, what's funny is if you want to drive growth, I mean, you could come to a point where you have two towns that are close to each other, and one guy says, "Hey, we're shutting off here. This is where we're going to keep it." The other guy is building infrastructure.
Right.
Where do you think the investment's going to go?
Yeah.
Because everyone needs water, especially when you're talking about energy, and when you have space and land, and you have, for data centers. I mean, you're looking at what's going on with AI, and they're already talking about small sub-nuclear, power generation, little small power plants. Where do you think that's going to go? They're not going in the middle of freaking a population area. They're going to places like Wyoming, Idaho, Montana.
Put them in Nevada. As a Montanan that sells product for growth, but doesn't want growth,
So you're want growth, no growth.
I of course, I want to make a living and support my children and stuff like that. But at the same time, do we really
There's
want
a
to?
happy medium.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, just tell them you don't want them there.
We have no water and it's really cold.
Yeah, what's funny is I was talking to a guy, I can't remember who it was. There's a guy up in, is it Whitefish? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was talking to a guy at a plant up there, and we were providing some check valves for him, like some parts for him. And I was talking to the guy, and this was during COVID, and he was talking about the growth, the obscene amount of growth they had up there. He's like, and they're already talking about extra, we need to get more infrastructure up here and blah, blah. I said, just wait until that snow falls. Mm-hmm. And let's see how many stay.
They lasted.
Let's see how many people last year in May.
They stayed.
Yeah, well, or they flew back and then came back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's beautiful for 3 months.
But but I guess going back to what I would say is, if you were trying to steer, like if you were talking to somebody who was looking at putting investment in business or wanting to do more business in Montana, what would your advice be to them?
As
somebody who deals with the distributors are there, that knows those people that have been working, that knows, that have worked with the guys that are, whether it's the towns, the cities, the engineers, like how would you approach solving problems in Montana? What are the problems there?
Well, the problems are shipping.
Okay.
There's manufacturers say that they can ship in this amount of time, and then they look at the distance, and there's no. Once they drop, they're not taking anything back.
Sure.
You're not moving
dead space, dead free.
Yeah, you're not going on to Seattle or whatever, right? Shipping's a huge issue. Having people stock for unexplained events. People need some extra restraints. People need some extra couplings. Whatever. Making distributors stock for oh shit problems or oh shit situations, right? But then they also have to keep their inventory at a certain level. But like, all right, just bring some in because these guys are 15 weeks out or at one point 35, 40, 50 weeks out, right? Bring it in. Well, we don't know if we can sell it or not. Will you buy it back? That type of situation. And I guess going back to it, my relationships, I thought was enough in the very beginning. And it was probably for a long time. But I'd say right now, if someone was going to start, I would say find a niche, a niche, whatever the hell you want to say.
Niche.
a niche.
We'll go in the middle. We'll call it niche.
Niche. And be viable.
Okay.
Be someone that they can call on with the information and the help. You know what I'm saying? Like you just talked about. To like, not to be the end of all and the smartest person in the room, but to be someone that like...
A resource.
Hey, yeah, exactly. It's like, I tell people, it's like, you can call the manufacturer and not get a call back. You can... whatever. Let me be the guy to call those people. Let me let me make the 10 phone calls or the 10 emails or whatever. You do your job. Continue on with your day. I'll handle this stuff, and then I'll get you an answer whether it's good or bad. And that's what I pride myself in. I will call back whether it's good or bad. I'm not afraid to take the beatings, and I have a long time. And I don't know if I told you, remember being the waitress that came over at Montana Rural Water when I was on the podcast. And I truly believe in that. We are someone that's providing a service.
Yep.
She came out to our table at Montana Rural Water, and you were there. She was upside down, and she was apologizing and apologizing and apologizing. It's not her fault. I was like, she can't control the kitchen. She can't go back there and cook.
But she knew every dish. She's like, you're going to love this one.
You're going to love this one, yeah.
Do you want to fork with that?
Yeah, and she's upselling it, right? Because she wants to make money. But she can't go back there and cook. She can't control that situation. She's got to be the front.
Yeah.
She's got to be the problem solver. And make everybody drop their shoulders and be comfortable. And it's like, there's a lot of situations like that where it's like, we know that they're 4 to 6 weeks out on shipping, and we've got to make them comfortable until it gets here.
Yeah. No, I mean,
and the funny thing is, snow's flying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
well,
like,
your guys' snow starts flying a little later now, but
yeah, we just got our first, and so did you
it'll
guys.
keep going, man. You guys had that. When did your car get damaged? Is that like May, June? I mean,
yeah, when the carport collapsed on top of my Jeep.
Yeah, I mean, you guys get snow late there.
Get that late spring.
Yeah, late spring stuff.
Well, that's what like the manufacturers don't understand. Well, they do, but we tell them 1,000 times. These guys are finishing projects right now.
Yeah.
And it's done. I mean, they're going to be done for 4 months.
Yeah. I mean, you said nothing that's like another. That's pretty much how you did business
anybody?
in general, is providing value.
Haven't offended anybody yet?
No, do you want to?
Kind of.
Okay, go for it.
I'm kidding.
You got to marry one, kill one, go.
Go.
See, what other questions I wanted to ask you up in Montana? So, I mean, you've said nothing that's not out of the norm.
No.
Is being a resource.
Yep.
Right, providing value. Availability is the best ability.
Right.
These are all things that, I mean, everyone knows.
What else I can tell you about Montana? Don't come in hot.
Don't come in hot.
Don't come in hot.
Yeah, well.
Don't come in aggressive. There's a slow process to this. And
yeah, I feel like sometimes the sales guys will say that one. I mean, it's not aggressive. Like, you just come to solve a problem.
I mean, but you also understand there's a lot of.
It's like, hey man, don't mess with my Montana relaxed vibe here. These guys, they don't want they don't want you coming in here trying to provide value right now.
But I was on the wholesale side of things, and I watched.
No, I get it.
I watched the guys come in that dropped the business card, and
yeah, but there's just as many aggressive guys out there. To me, I sit back. My deal is, you pick up the phone, you call me, right? I'm gonna call you back. Yeah. You want to reach out. You're looking for something. I'll go to hell and high water to try and find it. And if I can't find it, I'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
They don't. There's your Paul McCatherines, your Matt Kallstroms. Those guys are just as aggressive as anyone else.
Yeah.
When I say aggressive, I mean they're just as dedicated to getting the job done and providing for their customers.
Absolutely. The Kent Bowes, the Dustin Dennisons, those
Kent
guys.
Bowes, yeah.
DSG Waterworks. I mean,
Rob Cutlip, those guys are all freaking they're just as hardworking as anyone else, and they freaking grind.
Yes.
I guess I can get it from a manufacturer standpoint of saying when you come in and you're trying to jam product for inventory, but if you want to be value there, then you just be the value. Like just get the answer back quick, respond if you don't have it, and even if it takes another day or so, just let them know.
But even on the manufacturer side and knowing the relationship that I have with these guys, you could, a manufacturer could call and say, hey, when's the last time you saw Traver? And one of my buddies or would be like, Traver who? Right? And they'd be like, oh my God, I was there last week. I took him to lunch.
Yeah.
You know, that's just the part of the industry that's fun for them, right? Because what's the worst thing you can say about a rep? I've never seen him. I don't get to see him.
No.
Right? And so they know that. And so they play.
I can think of some of the worst things you could say.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just again, like I said in the beginning, it's just business.
I know.
Stuff happens, and just let it roll and provide value, man. Like there's always going to be the best thing about this industry is no matter what, people need water.
Absolutely.
And there
That's why
are
I
plenty
love-
of problems to solve, and
I
especially
love
when you have
having Ron
Montana.
Had on the side of things for me.
Yeah.
I'll call and Ron's one of those guys like, you gotta let that happen. You gotta let that go.
Yeah.
I want to fight, and I can't always fight. So
Well, you're a Montana guy.
I know.
Yeah.
So
You want to sit back like Yellowstone. Right?
take him to the train station.
Yeah, I want to take him to the train station.
There's a lot of people that'd be dead.
Good heavens, Traver. This one's taking a sour south turn here.
What's in this? I'm just kidding.
I guess my question to you is, what do you see happen in Montana in the next 5 to 10 years for infrastructure? As far as population growth, like do you see it? I mean, I see, when I look at Montana and Wyoming, it's a double-edged sword where I see a lot of space. I see a lot of space for whether there's a lot of, upcoming, energy is going to be the whole thing that drives everything. When we talk about AI, the amount of that bottleneck right now in AI is energy.
Right?
And you have...
Could I put it in a ranch perspective?
Yeah.
Power source. So at the ranch, we had to run 4 miles of poly pipe because that's where the power lines were. And you can't pay to get those power lines to go where you want to tank, right? The cattle don't care. They're going to be up where they normally go, and they've been for many years for wanting water. But you're not going to run power all the way up to that spot. You're going to run pipe to that spot.
Right.
So people see these vast amounts of land. Look for the telephone poles. Look for the power lines. Where are you going to go from there? How are you going to get? How are you going to get power to your? You can build a giant plant. Look at I'm going to say Baycom or whatever they're called, the German company that moved into Lewistown. They're a worldwide, national, or worldwide company, right? And they were going to come in and build this big giant manufacturing facility in Lewistown, Montana. It's not going to happen. They're there. I think they're cleaning parts and doing whatever with 20 people, but I don't think that structure is going to happen because they're not going to get the work. They're not going to get the helpers, the employees, and it's not really built. It's not built for it. So if you're going to do something like bring in these large structures, you got to understand what the population is that you're going to employ. You're going to bring your own employees in.
Most of them do if it's
Okay, well, if you're going to bring your employees in, then you're going to have to build housing for them. You're going to have to build basically a man camp.
Well, that's what I guess that's what I'm asking. I mean, you look at North Dakota, South Dakota was even more frontier than North Dakota, to oil.
But look at Montana now. You drive around Montana, you're not seeing large subdivisions. You're seeing apartment complexes now.
Yeah. Well,
Multifamily.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and the thing is
great for plumbing, but not great for waterworks.
What you brought up though was at first it was electricity, right? The old way we do it. Now you're looking at geothermal,
right?
Nuclear, water. These are all things that provide clean sources of renewable energy.
Right.
And I mean, what I look at though is, I would embrace some like Wyoming and Kemmerer,
Yeah.
Kemmerer, 2 R's,
Kimmer.
where they're looking at that. I think that power plant's going in, and there's no infrastructure there. But at the end of the day, they're willing to invest in in clean energy, clean renewable energy for the state.
Right.
It's jobs, that's revenue. I don't see why. That to me that is huge opportunity in that area, and that's where I kind of see. If you're in Wyoming, or in Wyoming and Montana, you can still protect certain areas or limit where that goes. You have a choice. But you could also provide a great deal of commerce revenue.
Yeah. But
And there's a lot of federal funds going
you
too.
come into
And you have Indian tribal lands
right.
too.
You come into Eastern Montana and you build a big giant plant. You're gonna have to bring your own people. You're gonna have to build basically, like we talked about, a man camp or a small city of your own. You're gonna have to source the water and the sewage, and
you'll be investing in the town.
You're not tying into a line. I lived in a town of 150 people.
Well, you can't tie into a line when you need a 5 MGD.
No. No.
You need source 5 MGD of water. You can't tie into a 24-inch main and get that.
No.
So, that's what I'm saying though is that they're either going to have to invest into the local economy in Montana in order to have that there, or show how them being there is going to benefit the local economy,
Right.
for there to be an investment to provide the infrastructure for them.
Right.
So, I mean, I think those are areas where maybe it could be done better than what we did before.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's where, I think that's where the opportunity is too.
For sure.
So, but again, it's a different landscape there where you have so much vast space, miles and miles of pipeline. I think it could be key too to solving some of the problems that we have in water infrastructure, because you have so much, distance of distribution and transmission of water.
Yeah.
Where we could learn a lot about how these systems are operating, and you have elevation changes and high pressure.
Correct.
There's a lot we can learn there.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't know. Montana's fun.
It is. It's a great place to live.
Yeah, you're just like, don't come over here. You're like, get off my lawn, guy.
Love you. See ya.
Well, so one of the last things that we usually do on this is we have a segment. We call it Tales from the Trenches.
John?
No.
No?
No.
We don't hug?
No, we hug afterwards.
Okay,
That's fine.
we
No,
know
it's
right
fine.
now.
It's called Tales from the Trenches.
Oof.
So it's basically your story of kind of how, or something that happened that's a wild story, whether it's you or somebody else. I don't know if you listened to the podcast before with Mike Youth.
Yeah.
He talked about getting electrocuted, something like that. Story of a guy in a, or whether it's you, something crazy happened to you.
Tales from the Trenches?
Tales from the Trenches. It's like job site stories.
Job site stories.
Yeah.
Well, I got a lot of those. We're talking
The craziest one, man. Other than me having the guy come up and bring you hot
Lotion?
towels. Yeah, and lotion. Yeah.
Those are fun. I would say probably one of my favorite ones. Jonathan Aikman. Do you remember Jonathan Aikman?
Yeah.
Great Falls, Northwest
Yeah,
Pike.
I do.
I was working for ADS, and I finally got a job under a bank, and it was like a 20-foot burial of 36-inch stormwater.
Okay.
And we were still trying to make a...
That's not heavy, right? It's just stormwater pipe.
Yeah. And we were trying to make a difference in Montana, in Helena,
Okay.
the home of DOT, right? And it was 200 feet. It wasn't much, but it was. I was on job site because it was important to me to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got done, and I was like, yeah, you got to compact, you got to be there, you got to do this, you got to do this. I wanted this to go perfectly. Well,
Yeah.
we got done, and Jonathan and I are at the end, and we're looking at 200 feet of pipe under 20 feet of soil, and it's not how it's supposed to look, right?
Yeah.
And they wanted us to crawl it to inspect it. And I'm like, you and I are going to crawl. butt to face through this pipe together to inspect it. And he was like, I don't know if I want to do that or not. So we got about, 50 feet in. And it was like, and my company was like, there's no way you should be crawling pipe doing that stuff. But I wanted, the Montana kid, I wanted to prove it, crawl it all the way through. It's perfection. You guys should specify it. It's magical pipe. And we got about halfway of him and I crawling the pipe together. We're like, back it up.
Yeah, I don't know about crawling in pipe. I don't know if I'm gonna do that one anymore. I did that 24-inch pipe to go look and make sure a butterfly valve was seated, and I'm like, something
I'm
about this
claustrophobic,
does
so
not
crawling
seem
pipe's
right,
not good
man.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's been good chatting with you. Glad you're out here, man.
Talking to JD.
Yeah, man. All right, brother.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Take care.